let me start this video with a question. How many of you have seen Asian Paint bucket? This bucket is part of probably every house in India. And if not Asian Paint, you would have at least used either Nerolac or Berger Paint bucket. But have you thought who manufactures these buckets? So today, I am going to discuss about a company that is among the leader in rigid plastic packaging material. It has more than 35 years of experience and has a client including the likes of ITC, Cadbury, Asian Paints, HUL, Pepsi, Dabur, Nestle, Amul, Britannia, P&G, Nerolac, Haldiram, Himalaya, Castrol, and the list goes on. Can you guess the name of the company? Well, it is Moldtek Packaging. Hey everyone, my name is Sahil and this is my Personal Finance Academy. Today, we are going to cover the fundamental analysis of Moldtek Packaging that has a market cap of just rupees 2,500 crore. But in spite of that, this company is a leader in plastic packaging business in India. As usual, we'll cover the business of the company, promoters and leadership, key strength, future growth, competitors and key risk, and then we'll cover the financials. Based on the analysis, we will conclude if Moldtek is fundamentally strong or not. Finally, we'll look at the valuation and decide if it is worth buying Moldtek Packaging or not. But before we proceed, some people commented in my previous videos that the stock I covered have already jumped a lot in the past and it is at its peak. I should have covered them earlier. Now, I don't understand one thing. If a stock is at its peak, can it not increase further? It is not the end of the world. Here we are looking at long-term bigger picture to create wealth in the next 10-20 years. And this video is not for traders looking for short-term profits. This video is for long-term investors. My goal is to spread knowledge and not provide stock tips. I want each one of you to learn how to pick right stocks and do not depend upon others. I hope it makes sense. Alright, let's get started. So Moldtek was founded in 1985 as Moldtek Plastic Private Limited by Mr. J.L. Rao and Mr. A. Subramaniam to manufacture rigid plastic packaging material, and this company was listed on BSE and NSE in 1993. After the listing in 1993, company founders started another business of outsourcing services for engineering to clients in US and Europe in early 2000. Later in 2008, there was a restructuring that resulted in two entities. Moldtek Plastic Limited that deals in plastic packaging business and Moldtek Technology Limited that is mainly involved in offering KPO services for engineering and design, specializing in civil, structural and mechanical engineering. Eventually, Moldtek Plastic Limited was renamed as Moldtek Packaging Limited. During the 90s, paint companies were using metal containers, but Mr. J.L. Rao convinced the paint industry to use the plastic containers. And that resulted in Moldtek to emerge as a leader in rigid packaging sector in India. Another breakthrough for Moldtek Packaging came in the year 2011 when the company introduced in-mold labeling, that is IML technology. There were huge takers for this technology as it gave branding longer life since the artwork was printed on the container and not labeled. Apart from this, the company also launched a slew of products with innovative features such as pull-up spouts, locking system and tamper-proof seals. All these innovations resulted in the leadership of Moldtek and huge growth in both its top line and bottom line. Moldtek is the pioneer in IML, that is in-mold labeling in India, with HD photographic labels produced by 100% automation and are 100% recyclable and has over 60% market share within in-mold labeling. So Moldtek basically manufactures molded containers for three sectors: lubes, paints and FMCG sector. Within lube segment, some of its top clients include Shelf, Gulf, Castrol, British Petroleum, Bharat Petroleum, Indian Oil, Reliance, HP, ExxonMobil and so on. So basically all top oil and lubricant companies are client of Moldtek. Within paint sector, its top clients include Asian Paint, Nerolac, Berger Paint, ExxonMobil, Apollo Paints and so on. Again, all top paint companies are client of Moldtek. Within FMCG, Moldtek has a huge list of marquee customers including ITC, HUL, P&G, Cadbury, Himalaya, Amul, Nestle, Dabur, Pepsi, Parle, Haldiram, Britannia and the list goes on. Moldtek is among the few companies which has got a green channel clearance from Asian Paints, that is, plastic buckets also known as pails supplied by Moldtek go straight to the filling line without quality check. Further, being the pioneer in in-mold labeling helped Mold-Tek get embedded in the supply chain ecosystem of major companies like HUL at an early stage of IML adoption in food and FMCG. It has 10 manufacturing facilities in India with total capacity of 41,400 ton per annum. If you look at the leadership of Mold-Tek, Mr. J.L. Rao is the co-founder and chairman and MD of the company, and he holds a bachelor degree in civil engineering and also holds a PGDM from IIM Bangalore. Under his vision and leadership, Mold-Tek has become the pioneer in IML sector and one of the leader in rigid packaging industry in India. Its another co-founder and promoter is A. Subramaniam, who is the deputy managing director of the company. With 3 decades of experience, he oversees the in-house research and development division and in-house tool room for designing and development of new products. He has developed in-house robots and introduced IML with robotic technology, which has given company a platform to develop IML products for the first time in India. So as far as leadership is concerned, Mold-Tek has excellent leadership with right competence and business ethics. If you look at the key strength, its first strength is extensive experience in plastic pail packaging industry. Mold-Tek is a well-established player in the decorative plastic pail packaging system with nearly 3 decades of operations, and this gives them an edge over competitors. Then its second strength is strong customer base. Mold-Tek enjoys a reputed customer profile with preferred vendor status from marquee customers in the paint and lube segment, which ensures repeat orders. Further, it has added several new customers in the last few years in food and FMCG segment and is looking at several new customers in the same segment, which, if converted, will lead to further diversification and improvement in profitability as these products enjoy better margins. Then its third strength is innovation and in-house development. Company has a track record of adopting the latest trend in packaging like IML and invested in R&D to develop in-house capability to manufacture at lower cost, which again provides competitive advantage. Then fourth strength is backward integration. Mold-Tek is the only packaging company in the world to design and manufacture robots in-house for IML decoration at 1/3 the cost of imported ones, apart from manufacturing IML labels in-house. Thus, Mold-Tek is a fully backward integrated company right from product design, mold making, label printing and robot manufacturing along with injection molding all under one roof. As far as future growth is concerned, company has significant growth plan in next 2-3 years with focus on high value adding products through both product and geographical expansion. Company is now entering into a new segment called injection blow molding, that is IBM, that would cater to pharma sector, FMCG and cosmetic sector. Company has raised 103 crore rupees via QIP, that is Qualified Institutional Placement, on 17 December 21, where it issued 14 lakh equity shares to eligible qualified institution buyers at a price of rupees 740 per share. Qualified institutional investors included names like Goldman Sachs India Equity, White Oak India Equity Fund, Aditya Birla Sun Life Trustee Private Limited and ICICI Prudential Small Cap Fund. Company is expanding its manufacturing capacities and has invested 36 crore rupees in fixed asset. Then it has expanded its Kanpur facility. Then it has started construction in Sultanpur. Company is also doubling up its capacity in Mysore and Vizag. So the money raised from the QIB would be used in increasing the production capacity. Let me share the recent interview of Mr. J.L. Rao that would give you a good sense of clarity on his new development.
Outlook as well. Mr. Rao, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us. Well, in your press release, you have spoken about how you will be using these funds. It is for entry into injection blow molding, that is for regulated pharmaceuticals, food, FMCG, cosmetics and OTC medicine segments. Give us a sense of how big this market is. Will you enjoy early entry? In this particular segment? What are the kind of revenues that you are aiming at by entry into this particular segment, and what is the capex actually that you'll make out of the funds that you've raised?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we had a very rousing response to our QIP issue, and marquee funds like Goldman Sachs, White Oak, Birla Sun Life, ICICI Prudential have invested apart from some of funds. And coming back to the fundraise need, getting into IBM leads us into high value add products like regulated pharma, cosmetics, FMCG and food packaging, where IBM technology offers both the advantage of low weight and the precision of injection molding. That's why it's called injection blow molding. And this is a huge market space. As of today, my guess is close to about 5,000 crores per annum market exists for these products. And it's very fast growing because unlike the EBM, that is the extrusion blow molding, where you find a lot of our pharmaceutical and other cosmetics are packed. The advantage of IBM is you will have not only perfect capping and leak resistance, but also excellent IML decoration, which we are bringing into the country for the first time. In IBM products, there are a couple of players, but not anybody with a noted contribution in IML. Mold-Tek is starting IBM with IML decoration, which will bring in a lot of value add to the cosmetics, OMC, FMCG products especially. And this market size as of today is 5,000 crores. And we are aiming to reach 7 to 10% market share in the next 3 to 4 years.
So Jail Rao is saying that this new technology, IBM, that is injection blow molding, would offer advantage of low weight and high precision and has a huge market of 5,000 crore per annum as of today. And that is a high margin business. And company is aiming a market share of around 7 to 10% in the next 3 to 4 years. Then Mr. Rao also discussed the margin and revenue guidance in the future.
All right, quickly before we let you go then, Mr. Rao, if you could give us a sense of how EBITDA per kg would pan out. You had given us a guidance of around 42 rupees per kg. Are you confident of that? How's the raw material situation? And in light of that, what's your FY22 revenue and margin guidance?
Yeah, we have done 42.5 in the first 6 months of the year, in spite of steep increase in the raw material, because we could pass on the price hike to our clients as per our agreements. If the prices come down, we do pass on the benefit to them. That way we are protected. Going forward, why the EBITDA has improved from 37 last year to 42 this year is because of improved contributions from food and FMCG. And going forward, food and FMCG, pumps and other value-add products like pharmaceutical and cosmetic products would further improve it in the future. But for this year, I'll be glad if we could make it 42 rupees per kg in spite of steep hike in raw material. And the increased sales of pumps and pharmaceutical and cosmetic containers in the coming future can take it up another 3-4 rupees in the next 2-3 years.
And the revenue growth would be?
Sorry?
Revenue growth would be for FY22?
FY22, we are aiming at a revenue top line growth of at least 15 to 18%.
15 to 18%.
In spite of first quarter affected by COVID.
Okay.
Of course, the same happened last year also.
So I hope you got a good clarity on the future plans. Company has also started digital IML, where Mold-Tek supplies each container with 2 unique QR codes, one on the surface and another under the peel off. So top QR provides unique identity for tracking purpose, and after the peel off, the below QR code gives loyalty benefit like discount and other promotions. So all in all, the future growth prospects are looking very bright. If you look at the key risk, number 1 risk is raw material fluctuation. Company is exposed to raw material price fluctuation that can impact its margin. Although company pass on the increased cost to end customer, that mitigate the raw material risk. In fact, in spite of sharp rise in raw material costs globally, company's margin have not taken a hit. We will discuss further in the financials. Then second risk is dependence on end sector. Since Mold-Tek caters to paint, lube, FMCG sector, its performance would again depend upon the performance of each sector. Although all sectors are expected to grow at a good rate in India. Then as far as competition is concerned, Mold-Tek faces stiff competition from other companies including your Shelly Engineering Plastic, Time Technoplast, Deep Polymer, Wimplast and so on. Alright, so now let's start the financials of Moldtek Packaging with its revenue growth. So its revenue has grown from 267 crore in March 16 to levels of 615 crore in trailing 12 months. And year on year, if you see, there's a consistent increase in the revenue. There's not even a single year where the revenue has fallen. Although in terms of CAGR growth, the growth is 22%, which is decent. Now if you look at the profit growth, profits have grown from 24 crore in March 16 to levels of 64 crore in trailing 12 months. There was a slight dip in the profitability and it was not that high, but if you look at last 3-4 years, the growth has been brilliant. And overall, if we see the CAGR growth stand at 19%. So all in all, the revenue and profit growth has been consistent, but it is not that sharp. Hence, overall on growth ratio, I would rate it 9 on 10. Now, if you look at the profitability, its operating margin has been again consistent, 17%, then it jumped to 19, then fell down to 18, but now again if you look at last 2 years, it is 20%. So if you see overall, the margins have actually improved from 17% to 20%, which is a good sign. And if you look at the ROE and ROCE, again ROCE stood at 24%, then 21.8, then 20, then there was a slight fall. But if you look at last couple of years, it was 21.2 and 23.9. As well as ROE, if you see 18.6, 17, 17.7, but there was a fall. Again, improvement in last 3 years, there's a very good improvement. So both ROE and ROCE has been consistently good, and especially in last 2-3 years, it is looking very good. So overall, in terms of profitability, I would rate it 9 on 10. Now, if you look at the leverage ratio, which is the debt to equity, it has increased from 0.22 to 0.6. But again, since then, it has actually fallen to current levels of 0.4, which is well under control. Hence, on debt to equity, again, I would rate it 9 on 10. Next, if you look at the reserves of the company, there's a consistent increase in the reserves, increased from 115 crore in 16 to 274 crore in trailing 12 months, which is a very good sign. Overall, if you look at the share price movement of the company, currently it is trading at levels of 775, and in last 1 year, it has given a return of 73.94%, and it touched a high of 861 and the low is 431. Currently at levels of 775, it is commanding a P ratio of 36.68. So you can see here P ratio of 36.68, which is slightly on the higher side because of considering the growth ratio of the company. The P ratio is slightly on the higher side, but again I would say it is not looking very expensive. If there is any fall in the company share price from current levels, it is worth adding it. Now finally, if you look at the shareholding pattern of the company, promoters are holding consistently in the range of 35.6%, so 35, 34, 35, and recently if you see, as compared to December to March, actually promoters have increased their shareholding from 32.14% to 33.5%, which is a good sign. And if you look at FII holding, again it has been sort of consistent, 11%, then 10%, 9%, and it is currently 10.46. But again, if you see, as compared to December to March quarter, FIIs have increased their shareholding from 10.34% to 10.46%. If you look at DII pattern, they have actually increased the shareholding from 12.26% to levels of 16.18%, but they have slightly reduced the shareholding in March quarter to 15.73%. So in this video, we discussed the fundamentals of Moldtek Packaging, which is among the leader in rigid plastic packaging and a pioneer in IML, that is in-mold labeling. Company has a track record of more than 35 years now and has a very experienced and competent leadership team. It has clients across your paint sector, lube sector and FMCG sector, including all the major companies like Asian Paint, HUL, P&G, Cadbury, Amul and so on. Companies fully backward integrated, where it has also manufacturing facility for robots, for IML printing, along with your product design, mold making, label printing and robot manufacturing all under one roof. As far as future growth is concerned, company is doubling up its Mysore and Vizag facility and opening up new facilities as well. It is also foraying into IBM technology to cater to pharma, FMCG and cosmetic sector that currently has a market of around 5,000 crore per annum, and it is a high margin business. Financially, Moldtek is growing at a consistent pace and has a decent profitability, but the future growth prospects are looking promising. Even the promoters have increased the stake in the company, that shows the confidence of the promoters. Hence, this is again one stock that can be added in the portfolio on dips. Now tell me in the comments, what do you think about Moldtek Packaging? Have you invested in this stock? I hope you'll find this analysis useful. To learn more about stock fundamental analysis and every aspect of money management, you can explore my online courses. Details are provided in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.